David Dean. David played in the NFL for a couple years, moved on to the AFL, and then moved on to the CFL until COVID kind of shut those operations in that season down. I'm also joined by my co-host, Elvin Lantigua.
How's it going?
David, it's a pleasure. Me and David go way back. Not way back.
Way
back.
Go
back a few years from our time down in South Florida. David, what's up, man?
Nothing, man. Just currently in the Netherlands, enjoying some nice cloudy skies. But yeah, man, I'm here with my girlfriend, just taking a quick vacay and just hustling at the same time, man. You know how it goes, always grinding, trying to relax at the same time.
Well, the grind started for you a long time ago, right? I mean,
it did. Where
did you go to high school at?
So I came out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. I went to a high school called Green Run. Our region, our area is known for its athletic talent. Has some big names, Allen Iverson, guys like that. But Green Run. Plexico Burris actually went to my high school.
Really?
The guy who shot himself in the leg.
I'm a Giants
fan.
After
the bullet wound.
Before that, he's still that guy. He's still that guy.
He got the championship though. That's all.
Got it exactly. He's still that guy. But yeah, Green Run High School, man. Then went up to Charlottesville, Virginia, to UVA.
And you got recruited out of high school, I'm assuming, or did you walk on?
No. I was a full scholarship guy. I came in 2011. Like there was like maybe 15, 20 guys from my area, from Virginia, like coming into to my class. So we had a really strong class, like one of UVA's best. But unfortunately, we didn't, have the greatest seasons. My first two, 3 seasons were really good, and then we kind of like slowly, decline. It's just tough when you don't have a quarterback, man. Like. You got to have a quarterback to win games, dude. But our defenses were cold. We had some cold defenses, man.
How does it work as far as, like, when did you start playing football? Like, around what age?
Man.
And, like, how consistent?
So I played 2 sports. I played football and baseball. But I started playing both when I was, like, 5 and 6. I played baseball up until high school. But when I got to college, I stopped. But the preparation for that, like in my state, football is pretty big. So unfortunately, we had a weight limit for tackles. So like I was always above the weight limit. So I couldn't play tackle really until I got to middle school. So I was just flag football from like 6 to like 12, and then middle school I started playing some tackle. Then high school was pretty serious in Virginia. So the competition, like there's like 11 schools in my city. Each of them probably send, as many as, 10 guys Division I. Some schools, a minimum of 1 or 2 guys at each school. So like there's a lot of talent. And yeah, we're very competitive, and, you take the sport pretty serious starting at like 6, 7 years old. Like you'll be at flag football games. Like you got, nice little crowd, like, 1,500 people out there. Like it's pretty serious. It's not like Florida crowd. Or anything.
1,500 people for 6 and 7 year olds.
not 1,500.
So how did you
get? Florida.
How did the recruitment process go? I mean, like what sort of kept you in Virginia? I mean, were you looking at other schools outside the state, or did you want to stay close to home?
Yeah, man. I had about 20 Division I offers. The recruiting process is it's cool. You're getting all that attention as like a 16, 17-year-old kid. So you feel like you're the shit and everything. But, you go on some visits and, you get the coaches like, all on your jock and everything. It's a great feeling, But at the end of the day, you got to kind of like see through the bullshit and like realize, okay, where, for me, it was like, where am I going to play early? I don't want to go somewhere where I had the bench for 3 years and play as a senior. I want to go somewhere where I'm going to play like my first, second year. I want to go somewhere that's competitive, like a big conference like ACC, SEC. And then I wanted to go somewhere where I would have a good education to fall back on. So like Virginia for me was, it was the best option, not only for those 3 reasons, but also, it was a place where my parents can come see me play. It was like a 3.5 hour drive. They can come see me play on Saturdays. you know, we can always get home, get a meal on the holidays. So like, it was just an easy choice for me. I had a good relationship with the staff. Coach London, you know, was a great recruiter. Coach West, I still talk to him to this day. You know, and some of the other coaches from there. So like, it was a good choice for me. Great choice.
Was there ever like a second choice though? Like
my second choice,
yeah.
Man. Second for me, just because of my opportunity to play early, and like I said, competing at ACC it was Duke. I know, you know, everybody thinks Duke's is a shitty football school, but at the time, like they were, you know, consistently going to bowl games. And the D-line coach, who I'm glad I didn't go there because he left the year after I would have came in. But Coach Hobby, he's a, you know, really well-respected defensive line coach. He's worked with a lot of great dudes, time in the NFL, all that. So that was kind of my backup. But, I mean, I was looking at Stanford. I had a Stanford offer. That would have been crazy far. Yeah, Stanford was, you know, another choice of mine. What else was I looking at? I can't really remember all of my offers. But I think I had UCF. The conference wasn't as great, though, but somewhere I could have played early. Louisville. They were just joining the ACC. But yeah, those are kind of like my backup choices. But UVA.
I like that though. Like when you chose your college, you chose it about you. You didn't go off of name brand or staff. Like you chose what was best for you. So I don't know who you had around you, but you know they did a real good job. You know, making sure you knew what to do there.
Yeah, mostly my pops, man. My pops was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was on it, man. He played some like lower level college, played some JUCO, and he played at Glenville State. I don't know if you know who Rich Rodriguez is, but he was the head coach at Arizona. I don't know where he's at now, but he actually got one of his first coaching gigs at Glenville State for where my dad played. He coached my dad's in college. He spent some time at Michigan too, so he was the West Virginia coach. Yeah, he was at West Virginia with Pat White, Steve Slayton. When West Virginia was like, you know, top 10 every year, like they were running, Big East. But yeah, man.
Just to piggyback on that, I mean, I thought it was interesting that you brought up the fact that you chose a college also based on the education piece, which
absolutely.
I don't know if a lot of people do that or not. I mean, especially in the military, like people don't bridge that gap. They join the military for 4 years. College is the same sort of length of time, and they never really look at, okay, what's beyond this, right? But it's pretty cool to see that you had the foresight to choose based on that as well. Yeah.
It was important to me because, you know, the chances of making the NFL in all reality are less than 1%. So, like, I had to, you know, I'm a realist. You know, my lifelong dream was to play in the NFL, but I had to be real with myself and be like, okay, if this doesn't work out, then, you know, what do I have to fall back on? And, you know, the network at UVA is so strong. I'm figuring that out now, like me kind of being out of sport. Like I have a lot of alumni reaching out to me, just kind of trying to help me, you know, along this process of, you know, potentially transitioning out of ball, you know, just different guys at different types of jobs, telling me about their experiences, getting out of ball, going into a more corporate role. So the network there is amazing. And then that degree is, you know, it's respected all across America. So it was a great choice for me for sure.
Let me ask you this. I mean, you said you had a bachelor's and a master's. Did you do that all in the same length of time before you got to the NFL?
Yeah. So wow. It took me about 3.5 years to get my bachelor's, and then about 1.5 years to get my master's.
That's like really quick. I really want to throw it out there. That's like
that's
accelerated.
Yeah. I mean, you're taking summer classes, like you're grinding in college. A lot of kids don't realize how hard you got to grind in college, man. Like you really get maybe 2-3 weeks off in the summer, but other than that, you're pretty much on campus all year round. Sometimes you like one of our bowl games, we spent Christmas like on campus, like, you know, like that time you're not with your family, you're on campus grinding, getting ready for a bowl game. So all year round you're grinding. Summertime you're taking classes, you know, you're so busy. And you know, granted that extra time this summer helped me kind of get my degree done a little faster so I could get into my master's. But yeah, I was actually doing my master's class, like my last master's class, like one of my last projects while I was in OTAs for the NFL. So like, yeah, man, I was grinding.
I think that's pretty cool because I think a lot of people, I definitely have this perception until you just spoke on this, like, oh, they're a student athlete, like they've got it made or they're doing this. And I think a lot of people share that idea. And tying it back to the military, it's the same thing, right? Like we call it a workup up to a deployment, right? You're doing a workup up to a season, right? And then you're in season, but you're still grinding, right? And I think a lot of people who join the military is the same thing. Like they get in there, they're doing a workup for a deployment or whatever sort of operation, and they have this opportunity to go to school. And so many times people fall back and say, oh, the workload's too much, the operational tempo is too much. But you guys don't have that. And so it was pretty cool to sort of hear you explain that and say, like, nah, man, we're out here grinding, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of funny you guys have that, because I guess you guys have to, do your duties while some people are doing it while they're doing school too. So that's kind of similar to us. And like the fact that, we wake up 6 a.m., work out, practice, film, go to class, come back, more film, do a paper, homework, go to sleep like 11, 12 at night, then wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock a.m. and do it all over again. So it's a grind, man, for sure. Yeah,
no doubt. So here you are, you're in school, you pretty much finish your degree, you get drafted.
No, I was an undrafted free agent, so I had to do it the hard way.
Everything.
Yeah, that's how I like it.
Resistance. I like it.
Talk about that. How'd that go?
Man, I was undrafted free agent. I was watching the whole draft. I had a low draft grade anyway, so I wasn't really expecting to go high, maybe like 5, 6, 7, 7th round. So after the draft, immediately, like maybe 10, 15 minutes after, I get a call from Cincinnati. Didn't really have much contact with them. Like, it was just a random call. And started talking to the D-line coach, and he's, talking about they really want me here. And after he hangs up, my agent calls me and was like, look, this is a great opportunity for you. I think you compete to and make the roster. So we ended up taking it. Like, I was like, I didn't really get much of a signing bonus. I might have get like $500. Like, it wasn't anything really, but it was something, it's money in my pocket. But I had to like really grind it out. I went into a situation where I was, battling with one of my good buddies now for like that last like roster spot. And, fortunately, or not fortunate for him, but fortunate for me, he was injured. He got injured, and that gave me an opportunity to step up, make plays, and make the roster. So it was tough. Like, as a free agent, you're kind of like, you're on a short string. You got to make sure you always know your plays. You can't make those mental mistakes. You're always high effort, high energy. You gotta be on it, because like for me, they only paid me $500 to come here. So for other guys, these draft picks, they're giving them 300, 400K, millions. Like, that's their signing bonus. So like, it's easier for them to cut a guy like me versus cutting a guy like that. So like, for us, we gotta be on our shit at all times. So it's different being a free agent.
It's kind of dope though, in a way where you could say, no, I joined the NFL.
Yeah.
You know
hey,
what I mean? Like,
hey, I'm there. I got my foot in the door. That's what I asked for. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think the thing is I've seen David in the gym. I've been with David. I've trained with David. I've trained David. Yep. I've worked alongside of David, training other people.
Yep.
David's work ethic is unmatched. It's unparalleled,
yeah,
and I think that, I've seen it firsthand, so maybe that was something that was developed obviously at a younger age, but I mean, I'm sure when your back's against the wall and you're hungry the way you were, I mean, there's just no other option, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've never been given anything like high school, college. I've always had to start back at the depth chart and work my way up. And like, it's just something I got used to. I'm a competitor, I want that starting role. I want that shine. I want to help the team get better. I want to produce, make plays, and it's not enough for me just to be in the building. I'm trying to be that guy. I'm trying to be the man. So like, I'm always competing, with the other people, trying to, beat someone out or, beat the man across from me, and then I'm competing with myself as well. I'm trying to always get better, find a way to be the best me I can be, whatever it is I do. Even with training the kids, like I was talking to Troy, talking to you, figuring out ways I can get better at that. Like, just whatever it is, I just want to make sure I'm the best I am at it, best I can be.
Yeah, you're an all-in kind of guy. I really like that concept. I guess it's it's obviously a military term, or a football term, something that I'm familiar, but I never really considered it the depth chart, right? Like working from the back of the depth chart up, to the top, and that's a good That's a
good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good visual to think about. Like, yeah, like even me, like I'm starting this business. I'm at the low point of the depth chart, right? I'm seventh string. I'm not even close to first string. But
I'm also a PFC right now.
But that's the grind, right? Because if you didn't start at the bottom, right? Like how much appreciation would you have when you finally got your first start, or when you first, took your first play and whatever. I mean, like that ability to grow is sort of where all the gems are at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's amazing. Like it just feels that much better. I just don't like things being given to me, man. When you have to work for it and go get it, it just makes it that much sweeter when you get it. And then, like, for me, like, I enjoy it for a quick moment. It's like, okay, what do I got to do now? What's next? Like, who do I got to beat now? Who am I competing with now? I'm always trying to get an edge, man. Like, I do like the feeling of, that accomplishment. I take it in and I enjoy it. And sometimes I look back and I appreciate those moments. But at the end of the day, I'm always looking to get better, man. Always.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Real quick, first play in the NFL.
Oh, that's a good question.
What's the feeling? I mean, listen, at UVA, you played in front of what, 60,000 people, right?
It was like 50. Yeah. Like 40,
sorry.
50,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, just 50, but so you're groomed, I guess, to a degree. Like you're not like walking out from, some scrub stadium onto the NFL, field or stage, right? Like, so you're used to playing in front of people, but that feeling of walking onto the field and being like, dude, like I'm here.
That is amazing.
I made it. Like, outline that feeling for us.
So like for me, it's always coming out of the tunnel. That's where my emotions are at its highest. Like the nerves, everything. It's just running out of the tunnel, and then as soon as you step on the field, you hear the crowd, like the music, all that. Like it's just all your emotions just come at you at once, and you just feel like you get this high, and then as soon as like the national anthem also, like that's another, like, hearing that, like I always get the chills from that. I'm not the guy that cries, but man, inside I feel it feels like it's just that land of the, when you hear that, that's the, woo, okay, that's just, it does something to me. That part right there. But yeah, and then after the kickoff, then it's like, okay, like lock in, it's business. Like, my coach always has like, my D-line coach I have in Hamilton, he always says like, 1,000 reps. Like you've done this job thousands and thousands of times. You've done this move. So like, then it just becomes like business. Like you kind of lock in. You still kind of, I'll say in the first like series, I definitely had those nerves in the NFL because it's like, shit, it's the NFL. Like, damn, like, but after you start getting into a rhythm, then it's like, you're just locked in, man. It's just business as usual. Like, it's just the same. Like you just locked in mentally. I'm not like trying to say we're robots or anything, but like you've done it so many times, it's just natural to you. You don't even have to react. Like, what to expect. It's crazy.
What's one of the top moments you could think of when you were in?
Top moments, man. I got to play with Geno Atkins, man. That's one of the coolest things to me. Like, Geno is a beast. He's a guy I watched film of in college. Him and like dudes like Carlos Dunlap. Those two guys are guys that you always see on highlights. You watch film of, you try to find aspects of their game and try to mimic them. But really, when you get there and you start practicing with them and see them in games, you're just like, they just do shit that normal people can't do. Like Geno, I tell this story all the time. I literally seen Geno like come off the ball, was a reach play, an outside zone. He comes off the ball and the O lineman kind of like tries to overreach him, but the O lineman gets light on his feet. And Geno is like, he comes off like a freaking missile, dude. And like he hits the O lineman, and the O lineman starts lifting off his feet. He like throws him. He throws the O-lineman literally like 3 yards in the backfield. He lifts the O-lineman off his feet, throws him 3 yards in the backfield, and makes the play. Like, that was, to me, that's when I was like, that's when I learned in the NFL, like, there's different levels. There's really levels to this shit. There's different level calibers players. There's players that do their job, and there's players that fucking just are just different. Just different.
That's crazy. Yeah, even being in around sports performance, and even being in Fit Speed down in Weston in Florida.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you would see like some amazing things, right? Like I remember seeing, I forget the young kid's name, but he was going to, I think, FSU for track.
Oh, Gabe.
And he ran 24 miles an hour on that Woodway treadmill. And I was like, whoa, bro, I will never see this again. And then recently, which is pretty cool, is they had, I think, Ocho Cinco in there.
Yeah, Chad Johnson. Yeah.
And he was running like 22 or 23 miles an hour. He's a lot older, obviously, but I was like,
it's impressive.
It's like just some of the stuff you see in that world is like, this is human performance on steroids. Well, not really, not literally, but like, not literally, but like, you're used to seeing like average stuff. And then like you go into a gym like that and you're like, holy cow, like some of these people can do some incredible things. Like,
yeah, man.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But for me, I'm seeing it on the field. Like it's one thing to see it, it working out and everything, but it's different to be on the field next to these guys, seeing like, AJ Green, I don't think I ever seen him lose a one-on-one. Like he's 6'4", he runs crisp routes. He's a supreme athlete, hands, makes circus catches, make look like nothing. And he's on the field just every day, that same intensity, that same effort, just winning. Like he's
year after
different.
year
After year. Unfortunately, these last 2 years he's been injured, but when he's healthy, he's a consistent. Like I think every year since his rookie year, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. One of the best receivers in the game. And then last 2 years he got hurt, but before that, like he's one of the top producing receivers in the NFL, like top 5. Crazy.
So you played in the NFL for what? How many years?
I got injured in my second year.
Okay. And then at that point, did they drop you? What was sort of?
So I had a tough situation, man. Like it all unfolded pretty shitty. I kind of learned the dark side to the business, the shitty side, the business side. I got it was like in camp, I believe. So in camp, I got double teamed and basically someone fell on my ankle, and I'm trying to, it's pretty fucked up. I spent maybe 1-2 weeks trying to recover, get back. And, it wasn't recovering like the way I wanted, but I was so hungry to get back on the field and try to prove myself. I started playing through it. It wasn't the best decision, but I decided to do it. And, being that I ended up getting on the field, playing the game and putting out there that I'm healthy enough to play, they were able to release me, not based off of injury, but based off of performance. So I spent about 2 weeks, maybe a week, 2 weeks out after being released. And I was still having injury or issues with my ankle. My ankle was still bugging me. It was starting to just bother my walk, get in the car, out the car. So I decided to get it checked out by a doctor. Doctor did the MRI. He saw that I had 3 torn ligaments. So I don't know how the hell I was doing it, but I was playing through 3 torn ligaments on the field. And, I go to Cincinnati, and, Cincinnati's like, we're not liable. We're not paying you anything. So I ended up having to wait until November, December to get my, surgery taken care of. I had to find the doctor on my own, pay for it on my own. So, I'm coming out my pocket like $40,000 for a surgery just so I could get back in the ball. It was a tough situation, man. But I learned a lot, and I think about time I rehabbed and I was healthy is when I met you down in Florida, that like May, June, that summer, and I just started grinding. I was working at Troy's. I was doing trash, cold call sales, whatever it was. I was just trying to keep some profit coming. And keep fighting for another opportunity, man. So I learned the shitty side of the NFL, but I learned, in that moment, to treat everything as business. Everything, you can't. It's the game that I love, and I was having fun, but I should have had more of a business approach to it. When I was hurt, I shouldn't have gone out there. Your body is your business. You can't put a bad product out there. Like if you go out there and your product's half-assed. The league doesn't know that you're injured. They don't know you had ankle issues. They only see this guy, 71 on the field, playing. They don't know anything about me. They just see the film. So I learned the tough side of the business, but it was a growing experience for sure.
It's a little similar in I don't know, but look, the Marines for sure, you know, when you hurt, it don't matter. Like, you don't go to what's called BAS. Like you don't go to the local hospital because they're just gonna give you Motrin, and B, you know, you're already a leader, and so what you gonna do? Like, you know, I can't run today, guys. Like you go ahead and no, it's not your job is to be in the front, and then what happens is, you know, you get out, all that starts to catch up with you, and then it's like, oh, where's the paperwork? Like, I didn't have any paperwork because we're supposed to lead. You know what I mean? And then so it's similar. You know, we're able to fight it. You know, improve it, but it definitely sounds like some similarities there for sure.
Yeah, I had that mindset kind of going, you know, that was my mindset always through sport. My dad was like, you know, there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Like, you know, you can play through injuries. You can fight through it. And like, I was always taught not to be that guy to like, you know, miss time because of injury. If you can play through it, if you feel like you can play, go out there and play. And unfortunately, you know, that was my mindset going into that situation. It was my mindset through college. You know, I always played through injuries and went to the NFL, did the same thing, and it just backfired on me. So, you know, I wish it was different. You know, I wish, you know.
How old were you for the injury, if you want me to ask?
I was 23.
Okay, that is young. I would still think it's like crazy.
Yeah. So it was tough, man. But I bounced back from it. You know, I got a great, I rehabbed with this great guy in DC. I spent about, you know, a month and a half not able to walk, learned to walk through them, started doing a bunch of rehabbing, and then just training with Troy Jones down in South Florida, my man Scott, like everybody, that whole team of people just got me feeling great, and I was able to go compete for a job in the AAF in Atlanta, and you know, I ended up having a great season there. Unfortunately, it folded, but you know, got some film from there, and then went on to the CFL and had to play back-to-back seasons, and it was tough on the body again, like just playing a whole year of football. But I went from not having a job in football to having, you know, two jobs. So, you know, I got what I asked for, and, you know, I ended up getting my foot back in the door.
How different is the competition from the NFL to there? I mean, it's still premier people like going hard, but can you see like the difference?
I'd say the competition. So in the AAF, pretty much, I'd say maybe about 80-90% of each roster were guys that had spent time in the NFL or were in the NFL and cut. You know, like, so they're NFL caliber players. But, you know, I would say the biggest difference was it was just a little bit of, you know, technique, you know, and obviously those guys, we don't all have the same experience as a 6-7 year old and year NFL vet, but there were vets in the league, but just not as many. So it was just mostly just technique, and you know, there's probably more mental area. So it wasn't as clean as a game, but the speed was about the same. It was still physical, you know. Guys were still out there getting it, no change. It was, you know, just as not as many experienced vets. That's all.
So I want to go back to the point where you get released, and, you know, how do you process that mentally? Like, man. I know you say you moved on, but there's obviously a lot more to it than just saying, I'm going to move on, right? Like, here you are, 23 years old. You just had the dream job, right? Now you get released. Mm-hmm. You're injured. Your fate is unknown. You can't walk, or you can barely walk. I mean, what's, you know, how do you kind of process that?
At first, I'd say right when I got released, I was pretty positive. You know, I kept the faith, but I'd say probably around that like October, November mark, when I still was fighting to get, you know, the surgery paid for and going to court and everything, I kind of figured, okay, like, looks like I'm about to do this by myself. That was like probably one of the lowest points of my life. You know, it was the first season I had went without football ever. I think I played football every fall since I was 6 years old. So like that mentally, like, it was tough, you know, not having a game I love, not being able to have that locker room camaraderie, you know, talk to my boys. You know, I just kind of went into a hole. I think mentally I was in a different place mentally, somewhere I'd never been. So I had to, like, you know, getting the surgery in December, I had to really come out of that and just, you know, just fight, man. And, you know, just kind of try to keep a positive, get back to my faith, keep a positive mentality, and just try to see the future. It was definitely the toughest place I've ever been in my life. Like I'm not able to walk. I'm taking oxys. Like, I'm just trying to feel good, and it's just, man, low point for me for sure.
It's more than physical, man. It's physical, mental, spiritual. You start questioning a lot of things and stuff. But what was the first one? Like, all right, so you injured, you're trying to do AFL. At any point, are you starting to look at something outside of football? I know you talk about training. At what point do you start looking at, all right, let me actually build something for somebody?
I started to look a bit. I was kind of trying around at that time in South Florida. I was starting to get in touch with more UVA alum and seeing what was out there for me. I started doing some odd jobs just to kind of get some profit coming in. But I started thinking sales, started thinking higher ed. So I was just calling up some more coaches, seeing that there was opportunities for me. But I think for me, my heart was still in football. So that search maybe went on for a month or so, and then I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to say forget it, focus on football, and try to find a way back in. So I just kept working the odd jobs, and just put all my time and effort into training, man. And around, I say maybe September, October, September, the AAF had started coming. There was more talk about that. And then by October, I had signed my AAF contract. So by October, I was like, okay, I'm just preparing for the AAF by then. But yeah.
It's very similar to, again, I say that, right? But like what, me and Scott were the same unit together. We both got out, but yet we're still around the military.
Yeah.
You're still working on a base. I was doing college advising before the military. Now, like, even with the real estate thing, I kind of focus on military. So it's, something you've done for so long, all your whole life around it. And, it is hard to leave. You're just trying to find your next spot within the same circle,
Yeah. It was hard, man. I'd known only, sports for my entire life. And I really couldn't come to accept the fact that it was over. So, it was a struggle for me for sure.
So now that when did you move to Virginia? And then after that, what's your plan going forward? I know you started training some kids doing position specific work. Are you still trying to make your path back to the NFL?
Yeah. So I went AAF, and then I went to the CFL from, I would say maybe after the AAF folded, I was in the CFL from May to, through all of last year. And then, coming up to this year now, the CFL is over because, Corona and everything. So now I'm in this spot again where I'm transitioning out of, football, trying to figure out what else is, there for me. And, and this, I've already been through hell after the NFL. So at this point, I've learned how to deal with it a lot better mentally. So I've kind of come to accept, that there are tons of other opportunities out there besides football. I've been, searching more corporate roles, but, right now I'm having a lot of fun with this training, man. I came back to Virginia after my time in CFL. So that was like the season ended in November, December. I came back to Virginia probably end of January. And then decided to start the business. I was kind of starting it in my head, just kind of, also focus on a potential CFL season. But in my head, I had already came up with the name and some concepts and everything. So I started getting things launched probably about, April. And so I've been, training kids since about this past April, and, slowly built it up. Had to learn how to, market it, put it on social media.
Market it. What's the name? What's the social media?
I haven't dropped the official name yet. I've just been kind of using my name, but I've gone with Slight Edge Training. In the process of doing an LLC right now. So, I'm still getting it official and everything, but I've just been running through my name, and I started off doing just free sessions, just kind of trying to get my name out there. I was just trying to give back a little bit, work with some kids from my area, the high schools I know, my past, high school coaches. And, just I wanted to see if I, really had some passion for it. And by the first weekend of it, I was like, dude, this shit is fun, man. I love it. So and even the kids' feedback were like, yo, like you were really good. Like they're hitting me up, like, when we coming out here next? Like, I was like, yeah, this is for me for sure. So I started doing. I don't really, like I said, I'm a hustler. I'm doing a bunch of other shit on the side. So I'm like door dashing, everything. So and then also trying to plan my next move. So I really don't have time to do it every day, but weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and maybe a evening or two, and during the weekday I do it. And I'm just constantly coming up with new ideas and watching other trainers, seeing what they're doing, and just calling up my coaches and asking them for some advice. Because honestly, my past trainers, my past coaches are kind of like what have molded me to be the player I am today, and right now molded me to be the trainer I am today. So really, I've learned, I've taken everything that I've learned from them and applied it to how I coach, how I teach my kids now. But at first, I feel like I was just coaching them, as football players. But then I started to see that, I think you have to also, teach them the process, just to help them understand the process of what it is to be great. Because a lot of kids just think you go out there and you just work out once a week, twice a week, and you're good. But no, there's so much more to it. There's the school part. There's the training on the side. There's the consistency aspect. There's the mental aspect to it where you got to be locked in while you're training. Like, there's just so much more to the process that they have to learn as young athletes. So I'm trying to, pride myself in not only teaching them how to be good, football players, but also to be, just dogs, like have a dog mentality, go get it mentality. And so it's just been fun for me, man. It's, I'm growing slowly. I'm getting probably, 1 or 2 more clients every week. So I'm just trying to get my kids to be more consistent. It's been tough with Corona and everything, because you got some kids who using as an excuse, like, well, Corona's going on, so I don't have to train. But I'm trying to help them understand, there's kids out there training every day, every week, getting it in. Like, either you're gonna fall back or you're gonna jump forward. Like, you're not the only, you're not the only one that's competing for a college scholarship. There's hundreds, thousands of other kids out there trying to get a college scholarship. And then you can take the time to either, sit, be lazy, waste this time, or you can take the time to elevate yourself. And when comes springtime, when ball comes back, whenever it may be, you're going to be in that much better of a position to get that scholarship you're looking for, because that's what everybody wants at the end of the day.
Especially right now, because that is the regular thought. So if you just continue to do exactly what you had to do at this point, months later, you probably skipped a few people at this point. You know what I mean? So you got that training down. Where is it that you train? Like what areas do you where do you focus your training?
I'm in the Virginia area, so like the Hampton Roads area. I got some kids in Virginia Beach, some kids in Newport News, Suffolk, Norfolk. I got a kid from Yorktown. I mean, well, he's not really a kid. He's a bit older. He's trying to jump into the CFL, but he drives down from Yorktown, and that's 30-40 minute drive to get to where I'm at.
You're saying a kid, but then you're talking CFL. How old are these kids?
Well, most of them are high schoolers. So I have I have mostly freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors at high school, and then I had one guy that was trying to walk on a tech, so he's college, and I have another guy who's about 24. He's 23, 24. He doesn't have any pro experience, but he played college ball at Hampton, and he's trying to. I don't know if you heard about the spring league, but it's basically a league where guys showcase their skills to, get them to a pro roster. There's scouts there and everything, but he wants to, go into the spring league and prove his talent, so he can get show off, so he can get a contract. So he's been training his butt off, trying to get ready for that opportunity. But mostly high school kids though, man, just mostly that.
Are you looking at running any camps maybe by next summer?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get a camp going in the hometown area. I'm starting to build my name and get more and more kids out there. Like the last session I was about to have was, fortunately got rained out, but I was about to have like, 10 kids out there. I don't like to go too many kids being, with the times and everything. So I try to keep the session small, but not only because of that, but also, I believe in quality. I want to make sure each kid, gets the proper training. It's hard to coach 10 kids at once, but when you got like 3 or 4 kids out there, I can properly coach them up. I can see I can be more detailed. I can coach them technique. I can slow it down a bit. So, I try to keep the sessions to about 3 or 4 kids. Sometimes we get to like 6 or 7, but I think I want to get a camp going here maybe in September. Fall weather. It gets hot in Virginia, man. We're out there some days like 100 degrees, boy. Like 12 in the afternoon, sun at the highest. Yeah, we working, man. We working, but yeah, once it gets a little cooler, I'm gonna try to get me a nice little high school camp, maybe a youth camp. Get some more kids out there. But yeah, I think that'll be a great experience. I want to try and get some other coaches out there too. Maybe some college coaches. I'll get some old linemen, MD linemen. I have some old linemen I'm working with too, and that's been an experience for me too, because I played D line, but me having to coach O line has really made me be a bit more creative, and I reach out to coaches too, like learn more about the other side of the ball. But it's all been a great experience, man. I'm really having fun doing it.
Yeah, it's exciting to see you do this, honestly, because even when we worked with kids, I mean, you have the ability to connect with almost anybody. You're very personable, so
yeah.
And people definitely see that. Even the parents used to see that. You know what I mean? Like, and you're super humble. I mean, here's a guy that's come from the NFL, that's come from UVA. He was the cap. I mean, you've come from here, and you're humbling yourself, and you're showing your humility, and you're putting yourself in front of people that you don't really have to. I mean, you could probably go launch yourself. You have a master's degree, you have a bachelor's degree, but you're passionate, and passion trumps everything in any industry. It doesn't matter. Passion is everything. So I'm really happy for you, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. It's all been a great experience, a great process. I've embraced it, and I've been fortunate to meet a lot of great people through it, like you, man. My experiences down there, it really helped me prepare me for this moment, because seeing how you train, Troy, all you guys, that whole group over there, it's kind of helped me take a bit, of what you guys did, what made you guys successful, and apply it to what I'm doing now. Because it's definitely been trial and error. That was like, that was my first real experience training with you guys out there. So, I got to learn a lot from you guys, and make my mistakes and see how you guys prepared for your sessions, how you guys ran your sessions, and then try to apply it to what I'm doing now. Me starting off, I was, it was tough at first because I'm doing it by myself. I didn't have you guys to lean on. Like, I would always come up to you guys like, yo, how you do this? Like, how you do this? Like, asking you questions and everything. But now it's just me out here doing it, running the session. So I got to really demand respect out of the guys and take the lead. And it's nothing I'm not used to. I've been in leadership roles, but it's just different going from player captain to now to like really a coach, a head coach, or, just leading a session. So like, it's different.
What's your biggest strength as a leader?
As a leader, man, I think communication. I think I know how to really like get, I talked about the details. Like, I really know how to talk in a way to help them understand and get the job done. So like, at first, for me, when I first started doing the sessions, I think I was too advanced. I had to really dumb it down and understand, like, I'm not coaching NFL caliber athletes right now. They will be maybe someday, but they're just like, 16, 17-year-old, 15-year-old kids, like trying to learn the technique. They never really had a coach like this. So I had to like find ways to communicate, the drills and the technique to them in the most simplest way possible. And then, also learn how to put their bodies in the right position. And, sometimes it would be, sending them film after the session, like showing them, showing them how I did it or how someone else does it. So it's, me just being able to communicate and work with the athletes in order for them to get where they want to be. And yeah, so being as detailed as possible and, being tough on them when you got to be tough on them. Like, I don't like to curse, athletes. I never really, curse at them to like put them down, but I encourage them to give them a little push sometimes, like talk a little shit to them, pick them up a little bit, like, yo, that's all you got, like, let's go, like, pick it up, So like, I know how to communicate and motivate my athletes, man. And I think that's what comes easiest to me, really.
That's very important, man, because nobody really, not say nobody, but like, you'll see some people try it and it just, you'll see them struggle. And just to be able to motivate somebody, that's a huge thing in leadership. It's a huge thing in the military, it's a huge thing in the NFL. And so again, I just like to point those, see, like, it's crazy how parallel but similar people's paths are when it comes to leadership, when it comes to being that role model. So, big ups you using that, because I really do think that's one of the rarer qualities to have is that communication.
Yeah, because I've worked with some very, some of the best coaches, in my industry, some of the best trainers in my industry, and the level of knowledge and the vocabulary I receive to them, it's not going to be, it's going to be just it's going to look like alien, words to some of these kids. Like, they're not going to understand it at all. So like, I had to really take what I knew and what I learned and find a way to, communicate it to the kids. So I had to find, figure out my way of motivating, communicating. And it was interesting for me,
Let me ask you a personal question. Have you incorporated any sled work into your programming?
Man, those sleds, man. So, hey, nobody knows about the sleds. Every Friday. Oh my gosh. I used to die from them sleds, but them sleds make you a man, boy. They put something in the cold. Hey, I remember that was like a finisher. Almost like every Friday I was the finisher them sleds, man. Having to push them things like 300, 400 yards, man. You'd be ready to die. And it's never cool in that gym. It's always hot in that gym. You just walk in that gym, you start sweating, boy. Man. But I don't have any sleds right now, unfortunately, man. That's the thing. I'm kind of still building, and I've been learning to the money I make invest back into my business. So I've been making small investments. Like, I went to Home Depot. I created a little some hoops, like D-line hoops, just with some PVC pipe, some duct tape. Got some D-line hoops. I got like a little 2x4 to work some long arm punches. I like some pad on it. Works like long arm precision punches. Fortunately, one of my high school coaches gave me some, like a little bag for them to hit with some hurdles. So I had that already. I got like I got some garden stakes, and I got like a little rope, and I use that as like my my chute. So like when they're coming off the ball, they got to stay low for my O-lineman too. Yeah, man, but I've just been making small investments, putting it back into them. I want to, that's the goal, to someday have a sled. Maybe I'll be able to get onto like a high school field or a college field when this all gets better, and start working from there. But yeah, man, once I get the sleds and some real like equipment, that's going to take me to another level. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I can't wait. What's your favorite exercise right now to get them in there, like to break them a little bit? What's your favorite one to get them?
Man, for me, like I'm big on like I like to talk and be detailed, but it's not necessarily what I do. It's just how I do it. I like to just keep the tempo high. Like I like to break down the drill how I want it, and then from there we just work. We keep getting the reps. It's repetition, man. Mm-hmm. Repetition builds confidence at the end of the day. The more you do it, and not just doing it, but doing it the right way. So like a lot of coaches would be like, okay, get off the rock, but they don't focus on keeping your shoulders low or driving off that front foot or your stance, your feet in your stance. Like, I like to focus on little things, get them to how I want it, and then pick the tempo up, just get the reps in. And, so it's not what I do, it's how we work, it's how we do it. So, yeah.
It's brilliance in the basics, right?
Yeah,
that's what it takes.
I got all these catchphrases, man. I'm over here writing notes.
Yeah, go ahead and take some notes.
I got a few of those, man. Yeah, I'm using a few of them. All right.
It's all the coaching.
Sound real smart, yeah.
You got to have the go-tos, bro. You got to have the go-tos. Well, Dean, why don't you tell us where we can reach you at? Uh-oh.
second. Sorry, I'm
You got the
breaking a little bit.
The red screen of death right there.
I'm back.
You're back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
We were just asking how we can reach you, and then you.
How you can reach me? Yeah.
Go for it.
My Instagram, man. My Instagram is probably the best way to reach me. Dean on the Scene. That's 2 D's. So DDEANONTHESCENE. Dean on the Scene. That's like just been my thing.
Oh man, another one line in there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely put it in the video. We'll give a little shout out to it. We'll put the links in the description. Do you have a Facebook page too?
Yeah, Facebook, David Dean. You can add me on Facebook. I have a fan page and my personal page, but yeah, social media is probably the easiest way to get to me.
Okay, so we'll put the links below. David, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's nice to catch up with you. I'm excited to see you grow, and if you need anything, I'm close. So if you ever need anything, reach out. Even if you need an extra body for a weekend or day, whatever, I got time.
Get some kids on the sled.
Yeah, I got a sled, so let me know.
Okay.
But
yeah, right,
Elvin, any parting words?
Appreciate you guys for having me.
You know, I was gonna have a quick parting word, man. You got any words for people who are, let's just say, in college already and they're looking at the NFL? What's the best advice you could give them? Or high school?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my.
No, that's all good. No, I was just saying for somebody. Yeah.
See if I'm better over here. Oh.
Now you got the sun on you, looking like an angel, man.
Looking like a Goliath over there.
I don't know why I'm like. I can hear you guys. It's just not is that better? All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no.
I got audio. Yeah, let it rip.
Okay. Go with the audio, man. Yeah. What's the advice?
Yeah. All right. So some advice, man. Just consistency and persistency, man. Just every day finding a way to get better. My coach at at Hamilton, he used to say, "What are you working on today? What are you getting better at today? Like what is the area of focus? Is it, from my athletes, is it your get off? Is it your punch? Is it your hand placement, your eyes, your knee bend, whatever it is, find a way to get better at that today. Focus on it, improve on it. And, be consistent daily, weekly, just hit your goals, make goals, get out there, just find something to get better at. And then persistency, like no matter what it is, you're going to go through a lot of shit, man. Like less than 1% of people make it to the NFL for a reason. It's a tough industry to break. College is the same. Like you gotta be able to take your L's and learn from them. Like, always find what you're struggling at and find a way to get better. If you lose a rep, figure out why you lost a rep and get better from it, whatever tough times you're going through, just fight through it, man. And just keep pushing, man. Keep the faith. You got to know in your mind that you're good enough and you're capable of playing at the next level. So just keep working, and eventually you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna get there. So that's my words, man.
Hell yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again.
It's great because that still is like the perfect way to say it. You gotta love the video.
For sure.
All right, Dean. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay. Take care. Bye now.
Yeah.